In the chaotic heart of modern Rome, deep beneath the thundering traffic of the famous Piazza Venezia, a team of engineers and construction workers were engaged in one of the most difficult engineering projects on the planet. For years, they had been painstakingly digging a new metro line through the city's ancient and crowded earth. Then, one day, their massive tunnel-boring machine hit something that wasn't on any modern map. They had just broken into a perfectly preserved, lost world, a secret neighborhood that had been hidden and forgotten for over 2,000 years. This was the beginning of an archaeological discovery so profound it would force them to completely redesign their futuristic metro station and turn it into a spectacular underground museum, a place where modern commuters would travel to work by walking past the ghosts of ancient Rome. But before we start our story, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and hit that notifications bell so you won't miss any of our new, incredible stories. To understand the immense challenge and the incredible significance of this discovery, you must first understand the city of Rome itself. Rome is not a city, it is a time machine. It is a living, breathing, archaeological lasagna where 2,700 years of human history are stacked on top of each other in a dense, chaotic, and priceless layer cake. The modern city, with its bustling streets and Renaissance churches, is built directly on top of the ruins of the medieval city. The medieval city, in turn, is built on the colossal foundations of the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire is built on the even older foundations of the Roman Republic. Every time a construction crew breaks ground for a new building or a new utility line, they are not just digging into dirt, they are digging into a potential archaeological site. This makes building a modern subway system, or metropolitana, in Rome an engineering and historical nightmare. The project to build Rome's third subway line, Metro Line C, has been called the most difficult and expensive public works project in the world. It began decades ago and has been plagued by endless delays, budget overruns, and one incredible archaeological discovery after another. For the engineers, it is a constant, painstaking battle between progress and preservation. They must use the most advanced tunnel-boring machines in the world to navigate a subterranean landscape filled with ancient aqueducts, buried temples, and priceless artifacts, all while trying not to destabilize the historic buildings on the surface. It is the slowest and most delicate construction project imaginable. Our story focuses on the most challenging section of this entire project, the creation of the new Venezia station, right in the heart of the ancient city. Piazza Venezia is one of Rome's most famous and chaotic public squares, home to the massive and imposing Victor Emmanuel II monument. The plan was to build the deepest station in the entire system here, plunging 85 meters or nearly 280 feet underground to pass beneath the known layers of archaeological importance. But in Rome, the unknown is always waiting to be discovered. As the massive excavators began their slow, careful work, digging out the giant shaft that would become the station, the first discoveries were made. At a depth of about 25 feet, the workers began to unearth the well-preserved remains of the Republican-era neighborhood mentioned in your story. These were not the grand villas of emperors, but the homes of ordinary, working-class Romans from the 2nd and 1st centuries BC. They were multi-story apartment buildings, or insulae, with small shops and workshops on the ground floor and modest living spaces above. The archaeologists who were working alongside the construction crew were thrilled. They found beautiful mosaic floors, intact storage jars. It was a rare and precious glimpse into the daily life of the common people of ancient Rome. The team thought that this Republican-era neighborhood was the main discovery. But as they continued to dig deeper, past this layer of history, they hit something else, something much larger, much grander, and completely unexpected. At a depth of nearly 50 feet, they uncovered a magnificent, curved marble staircase and the foundations of a massive, opulent public building from the time of the great Roman emperors. The lead archaeologist on site, her heart pounding with excitement, examined the architectural style and the faint inscriptions. The design was unmistakable. The historical maps and ancient texts confirmed it. They had just found the legendary, long-lost Athenaeum of Emperor Hadrien. This was not just another ruin. This was a fabled imperial university, a center for the greatest poets, philosophers, and orators of the Roman Empire, a place that was mentioned in ancient texts but whose exact location had been a complete mystery for over 1,500 years. The metro excavation had accidentally solved one of ancient Rome's greatest architectural puzzles. The discovery of the Athenaeum of Emperor Hadrien was a monumental event in the world of Roman archaeology. The team of engineers and archaeologists now understood that they were not just digging through an ordinary residential neighborhood. They had stumbled upon a grand imperial institution, a place that was, in its day, the absolute center of intellectual and cultural life in the Roman Empire. This was a building where the greatest minds of the 2nd century A.D. had gathered to debate philosophy, to recite poetry, and to teach law. It was, in essence, the lost Ivy League University of ancient Rome, a place whose existence was known from ancient texts, but whose physical reality had been a complete mystery for over 1,500 years. To understand the Athenaeum, we must first understand the emperor who built it. Emperor Hadrien, who reigned from 117 to 138 AD, was one of the most complex, intelligent, and cultured rulers in Roman history. He is known as one of the 5 good emperors, a period of relative peace and immense prosperity for the empire. Hadrien was a consolidator. He spent more than half of his reign traveling to every single province of his vast empire, from the cold frontiers of Britain, where he built his famous wall, to the hot desert sands of Egypt. He was also a passionate Philhellene, a deep admirer of Greek culture, philosophy, and art. An accomplished architect in his own right, he was responsible for some of Rome's most iconic and enduring structures, including the magnificent domed Pantheon. Hadrian's vision was to create a Roman Empire that was not just powerful, but also cultured and sophisticated. The Athenaeum was the physical embodiment of that vision, a grand statement that the power of Rome was not just in its legions, but in its ideas. The excavation revealed a magnificent 3-story structure with a grand, tiered auditorium, or cavea, capable of holding hundreds of scholars and students. They unearthed elegant marble floors, the bases of colossal granite columns, and beautifully decorated halls. The incredible discovery of both the Republican-era homes and, deeper still, Hadrian's Imperial University presented the engineers of Metro Line C with an unprecedented challenge. What do you do when your planned route for a futuristic subway station runs directly through 2,000 years of irreplaceable world history? Demolishing the ruins was absolutely out of the question, but building around them seemed impossible. This single discovery threatened to halt the 25-year-old project indefinitely. But instead of seeing it as a problem, the engineers and archaeologists, working together, came up with a brilliant and revolutionary solution. They decided not to just preserve the history, but to make it the star of the show. Their plan was to transform the Venezia station itself into the world's first true archaeo station. Instead of being a sterile, modern transportation hub, the station would become a breathtaking, multi-layered underground museum. The very walls of the station would be the exhibition cases. As modern-day commuters descend the 85 meters on escalators, they will literally travel back in time. They will glide past the preserved foundations and mosaic floors of the Roman Republic-era homes where ordinary citizens lived 2,100 years ago. Then, as they go deeper, they will find themselves walking alongside the grand halls and marble staircases of Emperor Hadrian's magnificent Athenaeum. The archaeological treasures will not be removed and placed in a distant museum. They will remain exactly where they were found, integrated into the very fabric of the station, protected by massive glass walls. The story of the Venezia metro station is a powerful and optimistic tale of how the needs of the present and the treasures of the past can come together in a beautiful and innovative way. The decades of delays and frustrations that plagued the Metro Line C project have, in the end, become a blessing in disguise, allowing for these incredible discoveries to be made and for a solution to be found that honors both history and progress. It is a profound reminder that in the Eternal City, the past is not a dead thing to be dug up and put behind glass. It is a living, breathing part of the city's soul, a deep and rich foundation upon which the future is constantly being built. And soon, thanks to this incredible project, millions of people will be able to take a simple subway ride and, in the process, take a journey through 2,000 years of human history